Hello, welcome to the Breakdown Lounge, where we deconstruct and analyze your favorite tracks, occasionally with a guest who has never heard the song before. My name is Stefan. I'm a half-baked musician of over 20 years, and today we have my GF with me, doing another breakdown. We just did Korn, Worse Is On Its Way. Great track, right?
Yes.
So check that one out. And then we're going to get right into this track. We're doing Jack White's If I Die Tomorrow, which he just recently released. So, which this is also, she's never heard it, and I just recently heard it, so this is kind of a new experience for me too. So we got lots of good stuff to talk about. Other bands we're going to do in the future, you'll see them on your screen now. Comment down below, let us know what bands and what songs you want to hear, and then check down below for other songs that we've done so far, the band's Spotify, social medias, our social medias, Patreon donation page when they come up, and then Travels with the Gypsy Lotuses now on Amazon, follows my journeys to India with one of America's oldest nurses. Go to stefanlawson.com, read some free chapters. Okay, so we're going to get into this track, and Jack White, I love Jack White. He's put out a lot of weird stuff lately that's really busy and stuff, but we'll get into that. This is a little departure from his usual. So
I have never heard Jack White, so...
The White Stripes, the Rockin' Tours, the Dead Weather.
Oh,
we've got lots of tracks for her to do in the future. All right, let's kick it off. This is If I Die Tomorrow by Jack White.
If I died tomorrow, could you find it in your heart to sing? If my mother cries in sorrow, will you help her with the many things that she needs from time to time and day to day? So if I die tomorrow, will you know exactly what to say today?
All right, we're gonna break it right there after that first, intro verse hook, going into the second verse there. How's it making you feel so far?
I like anything with a violin.
Not a violin.
What is
You're
it?
talking about the
Yeah.
So that's a mellotron.
Oh, is that what that is?
You're familiar with it?
Mm-mm.
So no, it's a key. Keys. So it looks like a piano, but it's an electromechanical instrument, Birmingham, created in the 60s, and it works by you pressing a key like on a keyboard, right? And then it pulls a length of magnetic tape against a capstan, and then pulls it across a playback head. So when the keys release, it retracts, and the spring's initial pressure.
Okay, that makes sense, because when I first heard it, I was like, is that a violin? I was like, that sounds weird for a violin. I was like, well, it has to be a violin, because it has that string kind of technique to it. But
so it's a mellotron, and it kind of lost its popularity through the 80s, but in the 90s, bands like Oasis and Radiohead, and then, of course, it's famously known through, like, the Beatles, Strawberry Fields.
Yep.
And David Bowie, Space Odyssey. Ground control to Major Tom. So, but the mellotron makes it. I mean,
yes.
When I first heard it, it was like, oh, like it's just so cool, because everything that we're hearing so far is pretty, it's just acoustic guitar and vocals for the most part, with some light drums. And it's really nice to me to hear something from Jack that hasn't undergone all this crazy vocal processing and excessive layering, because I love his entire catalog from the White Stripes and all this stuff. And he, was just big on, started out as a simple DIY, kind of stripped down audio techniques. So let's go ahead and jump back into it.
She's been through it all before, I know she'll say, make it a double of her lemon drink. And before you know, she'll be laughing about the times and those old days. So if I die tomorrow, promise you can walk away okay, okay. this worry for the sake of my life. If I die tomorrow, will you let me know I left in peace? I begged and I borrowed everybody's love, and they gave for free. And I wish that I could give it back to them. So if I die tomorrow, will you give them all the love they lent to me?
Now, I like his stuff, this style of his singing a lot better than him and the White Stripes in, because I've listened to a couple. I remember like their more popular songs, and I wasn't too much of a fan, but I do like him singing by himself, like this song right here.
Well, keep in mind that White Stripes were mid '90s, so almost 3 decades of experience on top of this, on top of a lot of other bands that he's been in. And the White Stripes do have some kind of stripped down acoustic stuff that I could probably dig up that I'd be curious to know if you would enjoy more.
Yeah, because I didn't like their mainstream.
Well, a lot of their mainstream stuff was very, on the heavier side and more distortion, more rocking and stuff. But he's also a very good kind of, unplugged performer as well.
Yeah, I've liked this because I had a lot more emotion. Like, you could actually like connect to what he was singing, and all the instrumentals and everything played into the whole vibe of the song. And
if I remember correctly, the video that's shot with this is him kind of dragging a coffin or something through snow, and the composition and the performance does have a very icy feel to it, the atmosphere that they create, and of course it is dealing with death and stuff too, so and boy does that Mellotron really add to the,
and I got the
vibe of what's going on.
Beatles vibe in a couple of those minutes there too. Great track, and I love, so as I was getting to in the first part, the second verse we get these vocals, whereas it's mostly just been him and some light overdubs. In the second verse, those overdubs are more constant, but it's just him barely kind of whispering them to you, and it kind of adds to the whole kind of somber mood, melancholy that's kind of going on. And then the guitar solo is really, really cool, and also interesting in the way that it's kind of recorded, because we hear the underworkings of a clean electric guitar coming mostly in on one side, and the guitar solo in that clean electric guitar leaps over to our left ear and then picks out individual notes of the bridge chords, and on the right ear we get another clean guitar and a reverse effect pedal, maybe something like a Dan Electrico backtalk, I'm thinking, which is as a guitar effect, the reverse delay is a really cool sound, but hard to work with sometimes. So, but it sounds like he really nailed it here, and it's really cool. And then there's this stuttering guitar thing, which I don't know what it is, and if somebody can throw some light on that of what it is, but we get this yeah, that was really cool,
and it pings going back and forth, and it's this stuttery hiccup kind of thing, and then it all crescendos and then goes back into the acoustic stuff. But for the life of me, I can't think of other songs that I've heard that kind of have that effect, whatever it is. So that whatever that stuttery hiccup thing is going on,
I was going to ask you if that was the guitar. Was that an electric
I would think so. I think it's a guitar. It sounds like a guitar that's got some sort of effect on it, but some modulation I'm not very familiar with. So maybe an octave pedal is involved in some way. I know Jack loves his octave pedal and has used it excessively, but and then also just like the content of the song itself, kind of comforting, like if you're gone and the people that you leave behind and stuff. And the very last line of it, if I die tomorrow, will you let me know I left in peace, I begged and I borrowed everybody's love that they gave for free, and I wish that I could give it all back to them. So if I die tomorrow, will you give them all the love that they lent to me? It's very cool. Great song. So yeah, I think that's enough to say on that one. Jack White, If I Die Tomorrow. So like I said, we did the Korn video, The Worst Is On Its Way, and we've got a bunch of other ones, so check them out in the links below. And again, comment, let us know your thoughts, your feelings about this song, and what other stuff you want to see from us in the future. So, and thanks everybody who's commented and watched the videos and stuff. Super cool. So that's it. Till next time, keep rocking out. That's what I say.
Bye.
See ya.